6. Signs. Someone in your life is sent by the devil and how to protect your soul. My child, listen closely, for these are not words taken lightly. Life has taught me many lessons, and some of them were paid for with tears, with scars, and with long nights of prayer. You see, not every person who comes smiling into your life is sent to bless you. Some are sent to break you. Not every hand that reaches toward you is meant to lift you up. Some are meant to pull you down into darkness. And I say this with the weight of years on my shoulders. The devil has always used people as his instruments. He knows that he cannot always come at you directly, so he sends someone who looks harmless, maybe even charming, someone who appears as a friend, a lover, a mentor, or a helper. But behind that disguise, they carry a mission to steal your joy, to shake your faith, and to rob you of the destiny God placed in your hands. There are moments in life when you look back and realize that the greatest battles you ever fought were not against strangers, not against storms or sickness, but against the very people who stood close to you. And sometimes you wonder how you didn't see it sooner. The smile seemed genuine. The words were sweet, the touch was gentle, but the fruits were bitter. My child, it is no accident when your peace begins to wither, when your prayers grow weak, and when your hope begins to fade after someone new enters your circle. It is not always coincidence. Many times, it is strategy. I've lived long enough to tell you this truth. The enemy doesn't waste his time sending nobodies to you. He sends people with influence, with charisma, with beauty, with the very qualities you might admire. Why? Because deception must look attractive, or else you would never welcome it into your home, into your heart, into your soul. Do not be fooled by outward appearances. The devil himself once was called the most beautiful of angels. If he could cloak himself in light, then surely those he sends can wear the mask of kindness, the mask of friendship, the mask of love. I want you to understand something deep in your spirit. The devil doesn't only attack you with storms. Sometimes he attacks you with relationships. He doesn't only strike with tragedies. Sometimes he strikes with companionships that are poisonous. He knows that if he can put the wrong person in your life, he doesn't need to push you off the path of righteousness. You will wander off it yourself, led by the hand you thought was safe. That is why discernment is more valuable than gold. That is why prayer is more essential than breath itself. Without it, you may never know who is truly for you and who is secretly against you. And let me tell you, I have seen it. I have seen bright young men lose their calling because they trusted the wrong company. I have seen faithful daughters of God pulled away from their purpose by the arms of someone who only pretended to care. I have seen marriages collapse, churches divide, and dreams die, not because of natural disasters or sudden calamities, but because the enemy succeeded in planting one person in the wrong place at the wrong time. Do not underestimate this. The enemy has studied you longer than you've been alive. He knows your weaknesses, your longings, your fears. He knows the exact kind of person to send to you in order to exploit them. And unless you are vigilant, unless you listen with your spirit and not just with your eyes, you may welcome a destroyer into your very soul. My child, I am not here to make you fearful of every hand that knocks on your door. No, I am here to make you wise. Wisdom is the shield that protects your peace. Discernment is the lamp that lights your path. If you do not learn to test the spirit of those around you, then you risk letting the serpent whisper in your ear through the voice of someone you trust. Do not think the devil always roars like a lion. Sometimes he whispers like a friend. Sometimes he smiles like a companion. Sometimes he holds you like a lover. And if you cannot recognize it, you may give your heart to your own destruction. So lean in and hear me well. What I'm about to share with you could save your future, your faith, and even your life. These signs are not just lessons from a book. They are carved from the experiences of a long journey through this world. They are truths I have seen, lived, and survived. They are warnings I now pass to you, not because I fear for myself, but because I love you enough to not let you walk blind into the traps that once caught me. Remember this: the devil sends, but God reveals. If your eyes are open and your heart is humble, you will see what others cannot. And when you see, you will be spared. Now let us walk this path together, and let me show you the signs. For once you learn them, you will never again confuse a destroyer for a friend, nor mistake a chain for love, nor call darkness by the name of light. Sign 1. They drain your spirit, not feed it. My child, the first sign is one you must pay careful attention to, for it is subtle, yet it speaks volumes. When someone is truly sent by God into your life, they will bring peace. You will feel lighter in their presence. You will feel encouraged, lifted, and inspired. Their words may correct you at times, but even correction will leave you with hope, not despair. They will water your soul like rain on thirsty ground. But when someone is sent by the enemy, they will do the opposite. They will drain you. They will empty your spirit. They will leave you exhausted, doubtful, and restless. Think carefully about the people around you. Do you notice that after talking with them, your spirit feels tired? Do you find that your prayers grow harder, that your peace feels disturbed, that your joy slips away slowly? This is no accident. A tree is known by its fruit, and if the fruit of someone's presence in your life is confusion, heaviness, and despair, then you must open your eyes. That is not God's doing. That is the enemy's hand at work. I remember years ago a young man who came into the life of a woman in our community. At first, he was charming, full of compliments, always laughing. But after every conversation with him, she would cry. She didn't know why. She only knew that her peace was gone. Soon, she began to feel far from prayer, far from the Word, far from her faith. She was being drained. That young man didn't lift her closer to God. He slowly pulled her away. My child, you must understand. Satan doesn't always storm into your life with violence. Sometimes he quietly bleeds your spirit dry through people who wear a smile. The Bible warns us that the thief comes only to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Some people are not thieves of money or possessions. They are thieves of joy, thieves of peace, thieves of destiny. Their words, though sweet on the tongue, poison the soul. Their company, though pleasant for a moment, leaves a shadow long after they are gone. Do not ignore the weight in your spirit. Do not silence the voice inside you that says, "This is not right." For your spirit knows what your eyes cannot see. I want you to test this with wisdom. When you leave a conversation, ask yourself, did this person add to my peace, or did they take it away? Did they draw me nearer to light, or did they push me closer to shadows? The answer will reveal much more than their words ever could, for the enemy is skilled at disguising his agents with charm, but he cannot disguise the fruits they leave behind. Be on guard, my child. Guard your spirit as you would guard your most precious treasure. For when your spirit is drained, when your fire is quenched, when your joy is stolen, you become easier prey for greater destruction. Recognize the ones who drain, and do not be afraid to let them go. Better a small circle filled with peace than a crowded room filled with darkness. Sign 2. They encourage you to walk away from God. Now listen carefully, for this sign is even more dangerous than the first. The second sign that someone in your life is sent by the devil is that they slowly, sometimes very subtly, lead you away from God. Not all at once. No, that would be too obvious. The enemy is patient. He knows that if he pulls you sharply, you will resist. So instead, he nudges you, little by little, until suddenly you find yourself far from the place you were meant to be. It might begin with something small. They laugh when you say you're going to church. They roll their eyes when you pray before a meal. They say, "Do you really have to read the Bible so much?" They may not outright tell you to abandon your faith. Instead, they plant seeds of doubt, seeds of mockery, seeds of distraction. And if you are not careful, those seeds grow. Soon, skipping church doesn't feel so serious. Missing prayer doesn't feel so heavy. Compromise becomes easier, and your hunger for God fades. I have seen this with my own eyes. A young man once told me, I never meant to leave my faith, but she kept saying, just stay with me tonight, don't go to church. And I thought, what harm could it do? Just once. But once became twice, then 3 times, until church was no longer a part of his life. He thought he was following love, but in truth, he was following the hand of the enemy, who used someone close to him to turn his heart cold. My child, I want you to remember something. Anyone who truly loves you will never draw you away from God. They will encourage you to pray, not mock you for it. They will respect your devotion, not belittle it. They will stand beside you in faith, not push you from it. If someone makes you feel ashamed for your faith, if they treat your devotion as a burden or a joke, then hear me clearly. They are not from God. The Word tells us, what fellowship has light with darkness? The answer is none. If the light of Christ in you is being dimmed by someone's presence, then it is not a holy connection. The devil doesn't need to make you hate God. He just needs to make you forget him. And he does this by sending people who slowly occupy your time, your heart, and your loyalty until God becomes an afterthought. Do not be fooled. The enemy knows that your strength lies in your relationship with the Lord. If he can weaken that bond, if he can pull you from prayer, from worship, from truth, then he has already won half the battle. Look closely at those who surround you. Ask yourself, are they pushing me toward God or pulling me away? For if they are not leading you upward, then they are dragging you downward. And no matter how gentle their touch may feel, if their influence leads you away from the Lord, they are not a friend, but a snare. Stand firm, my child. Do not trade your eternity for temporary companionship. Do not let the laughter of man silence the voice of God in your life. Remember, the devil does not always come with horns. Sometimes he comes with a smile and an invitation to skip prayer. Recognize it, resist it, and hold fast to the one who never leads you astray. Sign 3. They bring temptation, disguised as pleasure. My child, the 3rd sign is one of the oldest tricks in the enemy's book. Do not think the devil will tempt you with what looks ugly. No, he will tempt you with what looks beautiful, what feels good, what seems harmless. He knows that no one runs into a fire on purpose, so he wraps the fire in silk. He places poison in a golden cup. He dresses chains like jewelry. That is how temptation works, and often he uses people to deliver it. Think back to the story of Eve in the garden. The serpent didn't hand her something rotten. He handed her something pleasing to the eye, something that looked like wisdom, something that seemed good for her. That's how the enemy still operates. He will send people into your life who say, just try it once. It's no big deal. You deserve to have fun. Don't be so serious. And little by little, what seemed small turns into a prison you cannot escape. I have seen young men lose their way because a friend told them, come, just one drink, just one night of wildness. They thought it harmless, but that one night grew into a pattern, and that pattern became bondage. I have seen women led astray by someone who said, you only live once, follow your heart. But that heart was deceived, and the path it followed led to regret and pain. My child, you must understand. What looks harmless today can enslave you tomorrow. The enemy is crafty. He knows your weaknesses. If you love comfort, he will send someone who makes sin feel comfortable. If you desire acceptance, he will send someone who pressures you with rejection if you do not follow their ways. If you struggle with loneliness, he will send someone who fills your arms but empties your soul. Temptation rarely comes with a warning label. Instead, it comes dressed as a gift. Ask yourself, do the people in your life encourage holiness, or do they invite compromise? Do they lead you into prayer or into pleasures that make you forget prayer? Do they respect your standards, or do they laugh at them? For the one who mocks your devotion is sent not to bless you, but to break you. I tell you this from experience. I once knew a man who loved the Lord deeply, But then a woman entered his life, beautiful and charming. She would smile and say, "You pray too much." Relax, just this once. He thought he could balance both, his devotion to God and his indulgence in her ways. But the balance did not last. Slowly, she became his priority, and his faith became a memory. By the time he opened his eyes, he was a shadow of the man he once was. That is the power of temptation when it wears the face of someone you trust. Hear me, my child. Temptation always promises joy but delivers sorrow. It always promises freedom but delivers chains. If someone in your life constantly draws you into things you know do not please God, no matter how sweet they may appear, no matter how kind their words may sound, they are not a friend. They are a messenger of destruction. Do not let your guard down. Do not compromise with sin. For every compromise is a seed, and every seed grows into a tree. Ask yourself today, what trees are being planted in your life by those around you? Will they bear fruits of righteousness or fruits of regret? The answer will show you who was sent by God and who was sent by the devil. Sign 4, they sow division and strife. The fourth sign, my child, is that they bring division wherever they go. Watch closely, because this sign is easier to see if your eyes are open, yet many still ignore it. A person sent by God will bring peace, even when they correct or challenge you. They will build bridges. They will calm storms. But a person sent by the enemy will always leave conflict in their wake. They thrive on strife. They feed on drama. They cannot rest unless there is division between you and someone else. Do you notice someone who always whispers about others behind their backs? Someone who stirs suspicion, who spreads gossip, who plants doubts in your mind about the people you love. This is not from God. The devil knows that if he cannot destroy you directly, he can weaken you by destroying your relationships. He sends people who thrive on stirring arguments, who pit family against family, friend against friend, church against church. And sadly, too many fall into the trap of listening. I have watched strong families fall apart because one person kept sowing division. A sister would whisper against a brother. A friend would twist the words of another. Soon, mistrust spread like fire. Where once there was unity, now there was suspicion. Where once there was love, now there was bitterness. This is no accident. This is strategy. The devil knows a house divided cannot stand. And so he sends people to break that house from the inside. Think about your own circle. Is there someone who never seems content unless they are stirring conflict? Someone who always has a negative story to share, always pointing out the flaws of others, always planting doubt instead of trust. That is not the fruit of the Spirit. That is the fruit of the enemy. The Bible tells us clearly, "Blessed are the peacemakers." Notice, it does not say, "Blessed are the troublemakers." If someone in your life consistently breaks peace instead of building it, then you must recognize their role for what it is. They are not there to grow you. They are there to weaken you. My child, beware of those who whisper too much. Beware of those who always seem to have fresh gossip, who turn one heart against another. Beware of those who cannot rejoice in unity but delight in division. For their purpose is not friendship, it is destruction. The devil uses them as tools to break down what God is building in your life. And let me tell you, sometimes this person may not even know they are being used. They may believe they are just sharing the truth or being honest. But look at the fruit. Does their honesty build or destroy? Does their truth heal or divide? Even if they are unaware, the enemy can still use them if they allow their tongue to become a weapon. I tell you as one who has lived long and seen much, guard your ears. Do not entertain gossip. Do not allow someone else's poison to seep into your spirit. If a person in your life is always stirring conflict, if their presence always seems to leave you in arguments or mistrust, then know this, they are not from God. They are a seed of division planted by the enemy. And if you let them grow, they will destroy everything you hold dear. Choose peace, my child. Choose unity, and never allow the voice of strife to guide your steps, for the devil delights in broken bonds, but God delights in love that endures. Recognize the difference, and you will protect your soul from needless sorrow. Sign 5. They block your growth and destiny. My child, the 5th sign is one that creeps quietly into your life, but its weight can crush even the strongest shoulders if you do not see it in time. When God has planted a dream in your heart, when He has called you to a purpose, He surrounds you with people who will water that seed, encourage your progress, and remind you of His promises. But when the enemy sends someone, their goal is the opposite. They will hinder your growth, discourage your calling, and make you doubt your own destiny. It doesn't always come in the form of shouting or anger. Sometimes it is subtle, someone who always belittles your dreams, who laughs at your ideas, who tells you that you are reaching too high, that you are aiming too far. At first you may brush it off, but over time their voice begins to echo in your spirit. And soon you start believing their lies more than you believe God's truth. I remember a young man with a gift for music. His voice could stir hearts, and his songs carried the weight of heaven. But he had a friend who constantly told him, "There's no future in that. You're wasting your time." Be realistic. Instead of nurturing his gift, this friend clipped his wings. And sadly, the young man laid aside his calling, living a life of quiet regret. That, my child, is how the enemy works. He sends people to make you bury the talents God has placed in your hands. Let me speak plainly. Not everyone who smiles at you wants to see you succeed. Some fear your growth because your light exposes their darkness. Some hate your progress because it reminds them of their own chains. Others simply do not want you to rise, because if you rise, they can no longer control you. And so, instead of cheering you forward, they hold you back with chains of discouragement. The devil knows that if he can stop you from walking in your purpose, he doesn't need to destroy you with violence. You will destroy yourself by neglecting the call God gave you. He will send people who drain your confidence, who plant fear in your heart, who make the path of obedience seem foolish. And if you are not discerning, you will mistake their criticism as wisdom, when in truth it is a weapon of delay. My child, I tell you this with all the strength of my years. Guard your destiny. Do not hand it over to voices that mock, belittle, or cage it. God gave you your calling. No man or woman has the authority to strip it away. If someone in your life consistently tries to keep you small, to hold you back, to stop your growth, then they are not sent from God. They are a stumbling block, planted by the enemy, to keep you from reaching the fullness of what the Lord has prepared. Choose carefully who you allow to speak into your life. Surround yourself with those who fan your flame, not those who snuff it out. For your destiny is too precious to be wasted in the hands of those sent to stop it. Sign 6. They pretend love, but lack true fruits. The 6th and final sign, my child, is perhaps the most dangerous of all. The devil does not only send destroyers who look like enemies, sometimes he sends destroyers who look like lovers, friends, or protectors. They will pretend to love you. They will shower you with words, with gestures, with promises. But beneath the surface, their fruit will tell the truth. For love is not proved by words, but by fruits. A person truly sent by God will show patience, kindness, and faithfulness. Their love will build you, not control you. Their care will free you, not chain you. But the one sent by the enemy will use the mask of love as a trap. They will say the right things, but their actions will betray them. They will offer affection, but only when it benefits them. They will appear selfless, but their motives are selfish. I have seen it too many times. A woman once told me of a man who pursued her with great passion. He told her she was his world, his treasure, his only desire. But once he had her trust, once she gave him her heart, he began to manipulate her, to control her, to drain her of everything good. What he called love was nothing but possession. What he promised as devotion was nothing but chains. My child, hear me clearly. Real love does not destroy you. It does not break your spirit. It does not silence your joy. If it does these things, it is not love, it is deception. The Bible tells us, "By their fruits you shall know them." Do not be fooled by sweet words, by grand gestures, by appearances. Look instead at the fruits. Do they bring peace or chaos? Do they bring light or darkness? Do they draw you closer to God or pull you farther away? Anyone can speak love, but only one truly sent by God will live love. The devil is a master of masks. He knows that the quickest way to enter your heart is not through fear, but through what looks like love. He will send people who seem to care deeply, but in truth they care only for themselves. They will give just enough to keep you bound, but never enough to truly build you. And unless you open your eyes, you may call them a blessing, when in reality they are the chain around your neck. My child, trust the fruits. If the fruits are bitter, do not call the tree sweet. If the pattern of someone's actions leads to pain, do not excuse it with their promises. God's love is pure, gentle, and true. Anything less, no matter how it looks, is counterfeit. If someone in your life wears the mask of love but shows no real fruits, then know without doubt they are not sent by God. They are sent to distract you, to break you, to bind you. Do not let the mask blind you. Love is more than words. Love is action, sacrifice, truth, and holiness. And if you see none of these things, then do not cling to the mask. Walk away and protect the treasure of your soul. Conclusion. Walk in discernment. Guard your heart. My child, now that we have walked through these 6 signs together, let me leave you with words that come from both Scripture and the weight of many years lived under the sun. Life is not a playground, it is a battlefield of souls. And in this battle, people are not always what they seem. Some are gifts, sent by God to guide you, to strengthen you, to lift you higher. Others are snares, sent by the enemy to weaken your faith, to drain your joy, to rob you of your destiny. The tragedy is that, at first glance, you cannot always tell the difference. The devil paints his agents with the colors of friendship, love, and charm. But if you are discerning, if you walk close to God, the mask will fall and the truth will shine through. Think again on the 6 signs. The one who drains your spirit, leaving you empty and restless, is not of God. The one who nudges you, step by step, away from prayer and worship, is not of God. The one who tempts you with pleasures that look sweet but lead to destruction is not of God. The one who sows division, whispering strife and feeding drama, is not of God. The one who clips your wings, discourages your growth, and cages your destiny is not of God. And the one who pretends love but shows no fruits of patience, kindness, and truth, this one too is not of God. Do you see the pattern, my child? The enemy does not always need storms to destroy you. Sometimes he simply sends a person. And if you welcome them without discernment, they can do more harm to your soul than any sickness or trial. A wound from the hand you trusted cuts deeper than a sword from a stranger. That is why the Bible says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life." I want you to hear this clearly. Not everyone in your circle is meant to stay. Some were sent to teach you, some were sent to test you, and some were sent to trap you. The wisdom of age is knowing which is which. Do not let guilt bind you to a destroyer. Do not let fear keep you in the company of a deceiver. You owe no loyalty to someone who seeks your downfall. Your greatest loyalty belongs to God and to the calling He has placed on your life. And yet, do not let this warning harden your heart. The lesson is not to live in suspicion of all, but to live in discernment. Trust the Spirit of God within you. When He gives you a nudge, when He whispers caution, do not silence Him. Pay attention to the fruits, for they reveal the truth. You do not need to rush. You do not need to panic. Just watch the fruits. A tree may hide its thorns for a season, but in time its true nature will show. My child, I speak to you not with fear, but with hope. For though the devil may send, God always reveals. Though the enemy plots, God always protects. Though deception surrounds, truth always shines. You are not alone in this. Heaven fights for you. The Spirit guides you. The Word lights your path. And if you cling to God, no weapon, no scheme, no person sent from darkness can succeed against you. I have lived long enough to know this. Every battle with darkness is won by staying close to the light. The closer you walk with Jesus, the clearer you will see who is for you and who is against you. Do not fear the ones sent to harm you. Instead, rejoice that you serve a God who reveals them in time. Do not waste your tears on counterfeits. Instead, save your heart for the ones God sends to build you. Now go forward with courage. Hold your head high and let discernment be your shield. Test the spirits, weigh the fruits, and do not be afraid to let go of those who prove themselves not of God. For when you release what the enemy has planted, you make room for what God has prepared. And what God has for you, no man, no woman, no devil can ever take away. So, my child, remember this as you walk your journey. Not everyone who enters your life is a blessing. Some are lessons, some are traps, and some are enemies wearing masks. But with wisdom, with prayer, with the Spirit as your guide, you will not fall into their snares. You will rise above them, and one day you will look back with gratitude, not for the pain they caused, but for the wisdom you gained. For every trap escaped becomes a testimony. Every false friend revealed becomes a shield for the future. Every snare avoided becomes a victory for your soul. Hold on to your faith, guard your peace, protect your destiny, and trust the one who has never failed you. For greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. Walk boldly, my child, for you are not alone.